I was so depressed, so lost. I had no desire to continue living. And so everything I did was reckless. It didn't matter. I didn't matter. I didn't matter at all. That's how drugs work. They make you think that you are isolated and alone and that that's what you deserve. I was living in a tent underneath the I-5 bridge. I thought I had hit the point of no return, that there was no coming back from the life I was living. I also had a small sailboat anchored out on the Willamette. I was laying in the boat one night and I was crying profusely. And I cried out to God and I was just like, I need a way out. I need a way out. I cannot do this on my own. I am not enough. A couple months later, I found out I was pregnant. Now I look back at it and know that that was God speaking to me and answering my prayer very clearly. You wanted something that's more than you. Here's a life that depends on you. You know, everything you do will affect it. Having a child changes your entire perspective about who you are. And I know all I want for her is to have the best life. I want her to have an amazing life. And the only way that that's going to happen is for me to be the best version of myself. I know now, looking back on my life, that all of the things that I went through had a purpose and had a part to play in the way that God's ultimate timing has made my life. As much as I thought that I was walking alone, God had always been there as my fourth man in the fire. I made it through all these times I should have died because God was there. And I have this really utter and complete sense of peace that God is going to use every aspect of my life for his will. And the more I researched into how can I actually play a part in public policy? You know, how can I actually make an impact on the way things are run? You need to be a lawyer. I want people to ask me about my experience, and I want that to play a part in how we look at things. So I need the credentials to back that up. And so law school became the goal. And that's when I found George Fox. I could have chosen a different degree for law, but I'm really glad I chose psychology. It helped me understand my trauma. It helped me understand the roots of my shame. And it helped me create a coherent narrative of my life and my life events. So I think this next step in the journey will put me in the place I need to be to have the credentials to say, you know, yes, I'm smart enough to make these decisions. And also I have lived through this so I can tell you what it's actually like. My goal is to become an advocate for social justice reform. I plan to become a public defense attorney. There is a human behind every case file, and I think every person deserves that. It's how our Constitution is written. That's why we have public defense attorneys. And we need to rehumanize people who make mistakes. We do recover, and that's something I live by. If people are given the right support systems, they can recover. But it takes people who care about the outcome. And that's my goal.